Hi, this is Mrs. Perryizing, and I'm back with a tutorial on how to blur a person or an object in Final Cut Pro 7. So the first thing I need to do is find a clip that I'd like to work with and load it into the viewer. So I double-clicked on clip 18. So for my students, use the practice footage that we have and find clip 18. Once it's in the viewer, focus on the woman right here in our clip, and let's make an in point and an out point. What happens is, as I play my clip, she does move up and down a lot. And so we're going to track her face as it moves up and down as if we wanted to block her out or blur her for some reason, like you see on television shows. So once I have my in point and my out point on my clip, I'm going to bring it into my timeline. And so that's the clip that I'm going to work with. And I'll put my cursor at the beginning of the clip. The next thing I want to do is I want to go over to the generators menu, which is where the text tool is, and that's right here. And I want to get a shape to go over her face. So I can go to shapes, and I think I'll choose oval because the face is an oval shape. And so there's my oval. The next thing I want to do is I want to take this shape and superimpose it over the clip in track 1. So I'm going to click on it, drag it to the right, and go over to superimpose, the purple one. And notice that the clip for the oval is now on track 2. So it's superimposed over the clip that's on track 1. Now what I want to do is I want to make a copy of the clip in clip 1. So I click on it. I'm going to hold down Option Shift, and I see a crosshairs with a little plus sign in the bottom right hand corner of it. I will drag that up to track 3, and now I have a copy of the clip from clip 1 onto track 3. So the track 1 is now on track 3. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to go over to the effects tab in the browser, and I want to get a video filter for a blur to put onto my clips. So I'm going to go over to the effects tab, and I want to put a blur onto the video that's in track 3. So I like to click on that, go back to the effects tab, go to video filters, go to blur, and find the blur for Gaussian blur. So they're in alphabetical order. I'm going to take my Gaussian blur filter and drag it on to the clip that's in clip 3. Let me close out of these menus to make my screen neat. And now, if I jump over to the viewer, notice that there's a filters tab, so I'll click on my filters tab. Let me double click on the clip in track 3, and in my filters tab, now I have a choice for radius. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dial up the radius. So as I do, notice that on the canvas, my video clip gets very blurry. That's what I want, because I want to blur out the face of the woman in the video as she goes up and down. So what I need to do now is I need to right-click on the clip that's on track 3. I need to go to composite mode, and I need to go to travel matte luma. And what that does is that makes over here on my canvas, notice like a circle or an oval, because on track 2 I have an oval, and that puts the blur just inside of the oval. So now the next thing that I want to do is next thing I'm going to do is double click on the circle in track 2, so that I have the image and wireframe selected for not the circle but the oval. And so what I can do is I can now take that and I can resize it so that it's about the height and width of her face. I think I'll rotate it because she's more vertical than horizontal, so I'll go something like this. Now I'm going to take that and put it over her face, maybe make it a little bit bigger. So now what I want to do is I want to track her. So I'm going to start by hitting the diamond tool or the keyframe tool. Then I'm going to move my playhead, or you can use your right arrow key to move my video. And as she moves down, I want to move that blurred oval over her face. And you'll notice that it's making a path. There'll be a purple line showing the path that we're following her on. So as I move, she goes down further, and I drag this and I keep it over her face. So I make my way through the video. So she sneaks out a little bit there. I'm going to go over there. And I keep repeating this process so that I'm tracking her. So she comes up, so now I bring the oval up and go over her face. And I keep going, and she comes up a little bit on the top. Notice the purple line is tracking the movements. So I keep covering her until I get myself through the video. And we can go around. I don't like the way the video's blur is going over the woman with the brown hair. We're still over the lady in the back. So we can go back and fix that later. I keep going. She comes down again, so I move the blur over her face again. You kind of want to keep it away from the other woman that's next to her. She comes up again, move my oval again, and keep repeating the process. She comes all the way down this time. So I drag it over her face again. And she comes over this way, and I drag it over her face over here. So we track her. And she's coming up, so we'll go over her face again. So she's kind of all over the place. Very animated. Okay, so we're almost through. So now, once I finish, I'm going to watch my video. And if I missed any spots, I can go back and tweak the oval so that it keeps following her. So I think we're just about at the end. Okay, so now, back in my timeline, let me go to the beginning of the clip, and I play it, and I watch. And I watch as the oval stays over her face. And it's right there, it snuck out a little bit, so I can move my playhead back a little bit. And I can, you know, just keep tracking that circle. Let me get back on the circle, double click here. Keep tracking that over her. And that's how you, so I play it back, and that's how you blur out somebody's face. So you got to go back and tweak it as you go. Okay, that's all for now on blurring. I hope you enjoyed the video. Till next time.